Hey everyone, it's Erin here, and I'm here today with a bookshelf tour. I've been saying for quite some time that I have been meaning to do a bookshelf tour, and I just really haven't gotten to it because of college and stuff and being away from my books and just not having the time to record one, but I finally did. I did finally record it, but I'm going to have to ask you guys to kind of bear with me. There's some kind of awkward angles, and some clips are darker than others and some are lighter than others. It just kind of depends. I just don't have much space in my room for my camera or my tripod, and so I had to kind of make do. Some kind of awkward angles where I'm like looking down or you're like way up high or it's kind of tilted. It's kind of a mess, but at least I did it, right? So I just kind of went through the books kind of fast, so again, bear with me. It's the best I could do at this moment. I am planning on moving out of my parents' home soon, sometime in the fall or winter. I haven't really decided yet, and then I will probably then do an updated one. My bookshelves are a mess. There's no really coordination to the genre of the books. I just kind of put them on my shelf where I have room because I really only have these two shelves, and then I have two built-in shelves, but I don't really have many books in those. It's basically just junk because I was a pack rat. So let's just get right into my bookshelf tour. I hope you guys enjoy it and this isn't too awful. And then this is just the top of my bookshelf. I don't really keep much up here. I just have a trophy, piggy bank, some of my Harry Potter jelly beans, German Shepherds because I'm obsessed with them. It's unhealthy. I don't know, a bobblehead, some plaque I made for the wild, and then I just have my poster because I'm absolutely obsessed with the wild. It's unhealthy. That's basically all I have on top, and then I just get down into my books. Alright, so this is my first shelf, and on this shelf we just kind of start out with Harry Potter, and then I have my memoirs, and then some historical fiction, and then finally just some contemporary. This shelf is particularly just contemporary. I do have some paranormal and vampire books on the bottom shelf, but besides that, this is basically where I keep all my contemporary. The first series I have over here is the Harry Potter series. Mine is very beat up, and I'm actually missing the 7th book and the 2nd book. So, I'm not sure where they are. Someone reread them in my family and I never got them back, and then I also lent out the 2nd book to a friend and never got that back, so yes. But first I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I just have my box set of the companion kind of books to Harry Potter. First I have Quidditch Through the Ages, and then I have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Next we get into my memoirs. First memoir I have is Mighty Be Our Powers by Laima Jabawi. Then I have The Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I have The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Neffinger. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. And then I just have a couple arcs that I didn't really know what else to do with them at this point, so I just kind of threw them in here. I have Deviant by Helen Fitzgerald. I have the arc of If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch. And I just have my one lonely classic, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Packed by Judy Picoult. So I've Seen You Home by Judy Picoult. The Unbearable Book Club for Unsinkable Girls by Julie Schumacher. Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I just have a couple Nicholas Sparks books. The first one I have is The Last Song, and it's the only one I plan on reading. I don't know why I have more of his books because I just don't ever plan on reading them, but I do have a couple others. The next one I have is Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. Don't ever plan on reading this one. I saw the movie was alright, but no. I have The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, and I haven't read this one. I haven't even seen the movie, and I really have no desire to. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. The Nature of Jade by Deb Coletti. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Hodden. Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Septes. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stefan Chbosky. And finally on the shelf, The Giver by Lois Lowry. Alright, and then the next shelf is basically all of my contemporary romance novels. There are a few paranormal and there are a few fantasy just because they just fit well on the shelf and they didn't fit on my other one, so I just kind of threw them in here. I'm not very organized, so whoops. The first book on the shelf is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I have a small collection of Sarah Dessen. I have Along for the Ride, This Lullaby, Someone Like You, and Lock and Key, all by Sarah Dessen. Next I have my Colleen Hoover collection. I have Hopeless, Maybe Someday, Confess, and Ugly Love, again, all by Colleen Hoover. I only have the first two, but I have Anna and the French Kiss, and I have Lola and the Boy Next Door. Next, I have My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I have the If I Stay duology by Gail Forman. I have If I Stay and Where She Went. Next, I have Easy by Tamara Weber. The Secrets of Lily Graves by Sarah Strothmeyer, and Sweethearts by Sarah Zarr. Next I have some of the Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. First I have the Game of Thrones. Second I have the Clash of Kings. My dad is currently reading the third book, so I don't have that with me right now. But then I have the fourth one, Feast of Crows. Next I have Between by Carrie Schaefer. Next I have my Mediator series by Meg Cabot, and there are 6 books in this series. The first book is Shadowland. The second book is The Ninth Key. The third book is The Reunion. The fourth one is The Darkest Hour. The fifth one is Haunted. And the sixth and final is Twilight. And I just have a few books by David Leviathan. I have Every Day by David Leviathan. Then I have Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohen and David Leviathan. I have The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, and finally Paper Towns, all by John Green. Finally on the shelf I have Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry. Alright, and finally we have my bottom shelf. This is going to be a little awkward. It's kind of an awkward angle, but it's the best I could do. This shelf is just kind of my paranormal and my vampire series and books and whatever else. First I just kind of have some random Minnesota Wild notebooks. They're my favorite team. I'm obsessed with them and they're basically everything to me. Then I just have a random book. I have The Skater by Rob Roger. And I just have a random copy of The Host. I have a regular hardback copy, but I have this one. I don't know where this one came from, just one day it was on my shelf and I have absolutely no idea where it came from. Then I have my Game of Thrones Season 1 DVD box set. Then I have a Pillsbury cookbook magazine thing. The reason I have this is because I had a very short modeling stint in my early years and I modeled inside of Pillsbury Doughboy, and that is me, just little old me shaking some salad. Typically, I mean, that's what you do, right, when you model? So yeah, that's me, and then I'm also in here with my mom. That's me and my mom, just eating some pasta, looking cute. Then I have Wool by Hugh Howley. Then I have the first book in the Warriors series. It's Into the Wild by Aaron Hunter, and when I was younger, I was just obsessed with cats. So I bought this book because it was about cats. I've never read it. Then I have True Ghosts by Andrew Hongenman. I don't know, I probably butchered that, but it's just a bunch of ghost stories. Then I have a bind-up of the Shadow Falls series. This is Born at Midnight and Awake at Dawn. Then I have some of the House of Night series. I have not read this series yet, and I don't know when I plan to. I have the first book, Marked, Betrayed, Chosen, Untamed, Hunted, and Burned. And this is all by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. Then I have some of the Vampire Academy series by Rachel Mead. I don't have the first one, The Vampire Diaries, but I have the second, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, and The Last Sacrifice. And then of course, because no bookshelf would be complete without, I have the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. And then also by Stephanie Meyer, I have The Host. Again, the nice hardcover version. Alright, we are on to my next bookshelf, and this is the top shelf of this bookshelf. The first books I have on the shelf are the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi. I have the first book, Matched, and I have the second one, Crossed. I don't have the third book, Reached, and I don't ever plan on getting it. I did not like this series at all. It was boring, and I just have no desire to continue this series. Next I have Asylum by Madeline Rue. I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Lore. I have the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I have Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. I have my Mockingjay necklace that goes along with my books. So I have the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. I have Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. Then I have In the Woods by Tana French, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, the Uglies series by Scott Westerfield, Uglies, Pretties, Specials, and Extras. Then I have The Eye of Mines by James Dashner, Quarantine by Lex Thomas, an extra copy of Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, and Shattered Souls by Mary Lindsay, Wake by Lisa McMahon, and Walking Disaster by Jamie Maguire. Then I just have my box set of Narnia. I have 1 through 7. And then over here I just keep a journal, and I also keep my Kindle. The next shelf, we start off with these lovely bookends that I made. It's an elephant, and if you want to see me make them, or if you want to make them yourself, I'll put a video of me doing that down below. It's fun, it's exciting, I guess it's pretty cool. The series I have on the shelf is the Gone series by Michael Grant. I have the first book, Gone, the second book, Hunger, the third book, Lies, the fourth book, Plague, the fifth book, Fear, and the sixth and final book, Light. And this is again all by Michael Grant. Next I have the Partials Sequence Trilogy by Dan Wells. I have the first book, Partials, and the second book, Fragments. Then I have the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I have the first book, Divergent, the second book, Insurgent, and the Dust Jacket of the third one, Allegiant. Then I have 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Karstad. I have the Miss Peregrine series. I have the first book, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. And then I have the second one, Hollow City. Then I have the Program Duology by Suzanne Young. I have the first book, The Program, and the second book, The Treatment. I have The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, or other well known as J.K. Rowling. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The Yard by Alex Gratian. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I have the Fifth Wave series by Rick Yancey. I have the first book, The Fifth Wave, and the second book, The Infinite Sea. I have Conversion by Catherine Howe. Across the Universe by Beth Revis. First two books in the Fire and Flood series. I have the first book, Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. And then I have the sequel, Salt and Stone by Victoria Scott. Then I have the Vision series by Lisa McMahon. I have the first book, Crash, the second book, Bang, and the third and final book, Gasp. I have the Mila series by Deborah Driza, and this is the first book, Mila 2.0. Then the second book, Mila 2.0 Renegade. I have one of my all-time favorite series. We have the Unwind Dystology by Neil Shusterman. I have the second book, Unholy, the third book, Unsold, and the final book, Undivided. We start off with my next shelf, and we start off with the Chaos Walking Trilogy by Patrick Ness. I have the first book, The Knife of Never Letting Go, the second book, The Ask and Answer, and the third book of Monsters of Men. I have House by Frank Peretti and Ted Decker. I have the first two books in the Mara Dyer series, the first book, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and the second book, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, and this is all by Michelle Hodkin. Next we have one of my all-time favorite series, and that is the Lacey Flint novels by S.J. Bolton, and this is the first book, Now You See Me, the second book, Dead Scared, and the third book, Like This Forever. Then I have the Monsterologist series by Rick Yancey, and I have the first book, The Monsterologist, the second book, The Curse of the Wendigo, and the third book, The Isles of Blood. And I have the first three books in the Mortar Instruments series. I have the first one, The City of Bones, the second one, The City of Ashes, and the third book, The City of Glass. The Farm by Emily McKay, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews, Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, and the sequel, Rebel Angels by Libba Bray. Pier by Juliana Begot, the Summoning series by Kelly Armstrong, the first book, The Summoning, the second book, The Awakening, and the final book in the series, The Reckoning, again, all by Kelly Armstrong. Then starting off with my next shelf, I have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I have The Secrets Room by Kim Falks. Then I have the first book in the Perfect Chemistry series. I have the first book, Perfect Chemistry by Simone Eccles, and the second book, Rules of Attraction. I also have Wild Cards by Simone Eccles. Then I have The Merciless by Danielle Vega, The Body Finder by Kimberly Durding, The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan, The 100 by Cass Morgan, Battle Royale by Kushan Takami. Sorry, butchered that, most definitely. I have The Night Film by Marisha Pessel. I have Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Then I have the Delirium series by Lauren Oliver. I have the first book, Delirium, the second book, Pandemonium, and the third book, Requiem. I have the Maze Runner trilogy by James Dashner along with the prequel. I have the first book, The Maze Runner, the second book, The Scorched Trials, and the third book, The Death Cure, which was a big fat just giving you a warning. And then I have the prequel, The Kill Order, again all by James Dashner. The Anna duology by Ken Dare Blake. I have the first book, Anna Dressed in Blood, and the second book, The Girl of Nightmares. The Edge of Never by J.A. Readermarsky. Variant by Robson Wells. I have three books in the Lux series by Anna Goberson. I don't know if these are in order, but I have The Lux, Rumors, and Envy. Then I have Insomnia by J.R. Johansson, Going Bovine by Libba Bray, Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and Legend by Marie Lu. And I just basically have, you can't really see too well, it's really dark down here, but I just basically have some movies. They're mostly my movie adaptation or book adaptation movies, whatever you call them. And that's basically just what I have down here. is just some of those movies. And then over here I just have a writing book and then just some textbooks that I had to read for school that aren't really fun books. I have a planner. So I have Good to Great, Zealot, and The Healing of America, which are just a business social work book, a religion book, and then another social work book about healthcare. Fun, exciting stuff. And then I just have my Hunger Games cookbook. Here I just have some books that I wrote back in the day, back in elementary school and early middle school. These are like 13 years old and they're pretty funny. I'll show you one. I just have this one I wrote. It's Chester and the Lost Lucky Cheese. And yeah, it's just basically a little book that I wrote. And I just have those over, and then I just have those over here just because, yeah, they're pretty fun. They're funny to look back at and see how awful of a writer I was. And then these are my built-in bookshelves that I just have next to my window. And I don't really keep much on here because I was a pack rat, as you can see. And so I just basically have pictures and random crap that I don't know what to do with. And since I have trouble parting with things, I just am leaving it. But over here, basically, I just have some textbooks. I have old yearbooks, high school yearbooks. Then I just have textbooks, all my social work textbooks, and stuff like that that I need for reference at some point in my life. A random Hunger Games illustration thing. My Latin books, some religion books, all that fun stuff. And then some crap. Oh, and then just my diplomas, my high school and my college diploma, and that's basically it over here. And then over on this shelf, I just have some like children's books, and crap again, obsessed with German Shepherds. It's unhealthy. So I just have some children's books. I just have Zoli by Colum McCain. I have Holes, a social work book, this random book. And then I have some of my series, Unfortunate Events series. Also obsessed with hamsters. And then up here I just have some more crap. Some pucks and stuff. And then again I just have more childhood books. I have some hockey yearbooks, some wild hockey yearbooks, Charlotte's Web, Bras and Broomsticks, and the sequel Frogs and French Kisses. The Tale of Despereaux, a hamster book, and then I have all these like random pet books about like dogs and stuff. I was obsessed with animals. That's the only books I read in elementary school, as if it had animals on it. Then I just have an old copy of Old Yeller, The Hatchet, and then these two random books. And that's basically it for these two shelves. And then I just have more like collectibles and stuff up there. So that is all I have, and those are my bookshelves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.